me feeling like I'm academics.
Tory Lanez. Let me put a little bit of light on my goddamn face. Pause. Here we go. All right. And it was the Tory Lanez, the news that Tory Lanez petition, or actually, okay, yeah. And I see a lot of blogs run this. They say, yo, the appellate court has accepted this Tory Lanez petition for the writ of habeas corpus. I've seen other blogs basically say, yo, it means that they're going to have to reinvestigate the case, this and third. I'm here to explain and give a little bit more in-depth detail on what's going on with the Tory Lanez case. First and foremost, again, when it comes to all legal things, thank God we've turned into like ghetto lawyers because, niggas got to go through 4 years of law school and 4-year college to even qualify to pass the bar. You get what I'm saying? In most states. We're over here just doing it on Google research and AI, all right? So we're keeping it ghetto. But the thing with court proceedings and sometimes when you see things, I'm here to cut through the middle of the bullshit. And I know sometimes, at times, y'all have thought, well, I think you're biased in this story or you're biased in this situation. But for the most part, y'all do know the way I got my come up was basically letting you know that the majority of the media and either have an agenda, either swing one side or the other. They report favorable shit about the people they like. They report non-favorable shit about the people they don't like. Or they're just fucking lazy, right? We came in the game by doing the legwork, by burning the midnight candle, and by getting the actual truth and going the extra mile to make sure the people understand what's going on, not give them some clickbaity headline thing. So just like that, we're going to do the same with Tory. And of course, I know I fuck with Tory, but we're also going to just be very fair about what's going on. You guys don't know Tory was sentenced to, I believe, 10 years after he was found guilty of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Actually, let me make sure with these charges because Tory found guilty on, he was found guilty on assault with a firearm. Okay, not aggravated assault. So assault with a firearm and illegal possession of a firearm and a negligent discharge of a gun. So technically, it's not really like said that he's found guilty of shooting Meg, even though you can say assault with a firearm. That's what that is, right? Anyway, the whole point is I believe he got 10 years. And he's trying to get out of jail. He's now in California prison. Apparently how it works there, the feds is notorious. You do 85% of the time. In California, depending on certain programs you get into, this and third, you go get your GED, blah, blah, blah. You could probably do around like 60 to 65%, okay? So what would that mean? Tory would be locked up for about like 6 to 7 years, right? Obviously, there's more important ramifications of that because Tory Lanez is allegedly not a United States citizen, which usually after you serve a bid that is a felonious conviction, especially one that is violent, after you serve said conviction, you get immediately picked up by ICE and deported, right? So Tory is kind of fighting a good fight to try to get out, and also he's trying to fight the good fight to make sure he's not deported. One thing he's doing, he's number one appealing the case. So he's appealing the entire case. And by the way, just for you guys to, in full clarity, remember when Ray got on here, and by the way, I'll hop on Discord too. So if Ray does want to get back on here, he can. I didn't talk to Tory last night. I was fucking tired. I just went to sleep. So I still didn't talk to Tory or talk to like his people. So this is completely independent. This is completely through my research and, me doing my due diligence. This isn't some propaganda because I know sometimes people have accused me of like, oh no, you're cool with Tory, so you're just trying to like report shit on his behalf. No. Anyway, so Tory's appealing the case, number one, right? But again, he because he's incarcerated, while waiting for the appeal to be granted. And by the way, there's a couple of grounds that he's appealing the case on, right? They waited for the transcript. They're saying certain things, there were procedural errors. These things should have not been done. He's also kind of softly claiming that maybe like his lawyer at first was, not working in his best interest. Whatever, like the first lawyer, okay? What he did on the 23rd was file what's called a writ of habeas corpus, right? And that term is a Latin term, which, number one, confuses a lot of people. And once they seen that the appellate court said granted, people believed immediately, oh, Tory's getting out of jail. Now, it doesn't mean that. Now, it doesn't mean he won't get out of jail at some point. It just means that them granting that appeal does not mean he gets out of jail. What they granted was that they will listen to the appeal. Now, I'm going to go through this quickly because I don't want to make this a long, drawn-out thing. We read this before. This was a paper that everybody's saying. This basically said, give me 1 second. It basically said, we've read and considered the petition of writ of habeas corpus. And by the way, just to summarize what habeas corpus is, it's a Latin term for show me the body. Essentially, it's a petition to the appellate court to say you have been confined or your freedom or your right to be free has been restricted or inhibited without a proper legal reason. So when they accept the appeal to hear on the petition for writ of habeas, they read some stuff that Tory said, and they said, well, if you say you're locked up in prison and they didn't find, they can't retest the gun, or the shell casings was like all type of stuff, right? If that's the case, let's see what the prosecutor says. Why did they lock you up then, right? Now, we all know they went through a whole trial, right? So, I don't know what you think about the trial. I wasn't there. We kind of reported from it from outside of the court, really. We were just on stream. The prosecutor's going to kind of show up. And by the way, this is not a trial again. There's going to basically submit a bunch of paperwork saying this is why we convicted him. Now, as I said, this is a paper floating around social media, but it's misleading. It's misleading because it doesn't even tell you on what grounds Tory is claiming that he was unjustly imprisoned. Now, I have found pieces of that petition, and I'll pull it up here. Now, his petition and his appeal is being taken care of by a group named Unite the People, okay? And they filed in the second appellate district, which is the one that covers Los Angeles. They filed an appeal, and I'll read some of the I'm not going to read through the whole thing. I think it's like 30 pages or something like that. But I'll give you the main points they're hitting in this writ of habeas corpus, okay? Now, keep in mind, a writ of habeas corpus could be used in multiple different times. Like, for example, if your sentence was unfair given compared to the guidelines, or if there was if you're being denied bail and that's not fair, that's a step. So like, even when Diddy gets denied, which I think he's going to get denied on the circuit court, he could do a federal writ of habeas corpus, right? Where they could look into why his freedom is being inhibited by a lack of bond. The prosecutor is still going to say the same thing. You threatened a witness. And I still think that you can't beat that. No judge, no matter what judge, 50 million judges, they're all going to say, bro, you're threatening witnesses. We can't let you out. Anyway, the point is that in appellate court, this is not a trial. They usually go with the decision that's already set, and you have to give clear evidence or clear reasons why they should go against what the other court said, right? And obviously, and if there's mistakes made, that's where you point it out. So these are the grounds that Tory's appealing on, right? Or this was the grounds for the habeas corpus. They're saying that there's a declaration from Jaquan Smith. This is a driver that it says it does meet the required prima facie. I always fuck up with that word. Standard for relief through the penal code in the alternative, and it was an effective assistance of counsel. This is interesting. So Tory's saying that his lawyer failed him by not calling, right? By not calling the driver to the stand, right? So that's what Tory's going with. They're saying the driver knows key information and he was not called to the stand, and his counsel failed him. Now, this is a little bit of a twist of how Tory's initial appeal for the whole trial is, because the initial appeal kind of said, well, we have a witness that would testify otherwise. And a part of, I'm going to get a little bit legal on y'all, so just relax with me for a second. When it comes to habeas corpus. Now, this is specific to these states, but like this is in general. There are going to be some other specific stuff. Once you're already convicted, these are the ways that you could and let me get to it. Yeah, these are the ways that you could kind of get out of jail, right? After conviction. Now, you could have done this before conviction. Hold on. Let me see. All right, no. Here we go. Sorry. All right. Okay. All right, never mind. Yeah. So there's like 5 ways, right? So after your conviction, 1, your confinement is beyond your sentence. Tory got 10 years. He's not beyond his sentence. 2, is a violation of your fundamental constitutional or statutory rights. Like, for example, like if you got sentenced for a gun, right? You got sentenced for having possession of a gun, but the search that found the gun was illegal, and you still went through a court process, and that was still allowed to happen. You could challenge it to say they violated my 4th Amendment right, which prevents unlawful searches and seizures, and that's how they found a gun. Habeas corpus, which some people even call a Hail Mary, damn near, because it's a long shot. It's like 4th and 89, right? It's a long shot to get this in because you went through a whole. This is not a trial. This is people reading what you're saying and then going back to the transcript and they're not going to have a whole trial, right? So was your fundamental rights violated? Tory claims some rights were violated. Don't know if it's enough. Don't know if anything that was significant enough that it's going to sway the appellate court. That there's a new law or void law. It's always going to be a law. Did you shoot the chick, right? Or did you have a gun? Like, these are not laws. Now, if it was, he got caught with marijuana, right? Like, for example, a lot of people filed these when they legalized marijuana in places that marijuana wasn't legal in, and niggas was in jail. They're like, what the fuck? I'm in jail and y'all just legalized the shit. That makes sense. 4th, ineffective assistance or counsel. Now, that's one of them you could do. So Tory's kind of blaming his lawyer, right? And then 5 is discovery of new evidence. So he's using 4 and 5. He's saying there's new evidence, sort of, and he's saying he had ineffective counsel. So let's go back to Tory's reasons. Ineffective counsel that didn't put the driver on the stand. Now, this issue is also addressed in the overall appeal for the case. The prosecutor said, well, the appeal doesn't work like that. It's your fault. That nigga came to court and we had on the record a conversation on like one of the last days of court. Yo, do y'all want to put the driver on the stand? And we said, we're cool with the driver being on the stand. We just need until after the holidays to prep for it. And y'all said, never mind. So y'all didn't put him on the stand. So that's what the state is saying. So the state's going to say it again. But now Tory's saying, well, my lawyer made the bad decision. Yeah, I don't fuck with that lawyer. You know what I mean? So they're saying ineffective counsel. They should have put the driver on the stand. Okay, let's get to the second part. Second part is the expert testimony concerning the DNA was false evidence. Now, this is about the DNA. So remember this whole thing when they said Ack was lying or whatever the case is. So in the discovery, right? And remember, there's something called like Brady evidence, right? So, or Brady, which means if, for example, they claim you stole this cup, right? And there's a big ass fingerprint because you were just eating cookies and your fingerprint is muddy and there's a fingerprint on it, right? They get the cup that they claim you stole and they charge you for stealing the cup. When they test the cup and test the fingerprint belonged to somebody else. They got to tell you, like, bro, yeah, we tested the cup. It ain't your fingerprint. Like, the prosecutor got to tell you. If they don't tell you and they try to hide it because they're trying to get you convicted, that's a huge violation. And usually they'll just dismiss the whole case once that's figured out, right? So the prosecutor has a duty to share in discovery favorable and non-favorable evidence when it comes to a defendant. So Tory's claiming the expert witness concerning the DNA. So remember when they said that Tory violated the discovery order by leaking it to me, which I got it from Meg. Anyway, here's the point. Remember, it's this whole thing about, was Tory's DNA found found on the gun, or can you not? It's just inconclusive. Now, there's a difference between the two. Inconclusive means it could be, but we don't have proof. It doesn't tell us anything. It doesn't tell us one way or the other. If it says no, it's ruling out that he ever not ever touched a gun, but that his DNA could ever be found on the gun. Now, when they turned over discovery, they told Tory it's inconclusive, right? So that's what they turned over in discovery. Tory had his own analyst go over the testing results, and they said, well, based on blah blah blah, based on blah blah, it's not only it's more than inconclusive. Tory's DNA ain't on the gun. So the prosecutor said inconclusive. Tory's analyst is saying he ain't on the gun. Okay, so that's one of the grounds, because they're saying the analyst for the prosecutor lied, because they're saying that Tory's DNA could be on the gun. It's just that enough wasn't there, so that's why it was inconclusive. And Tory's people are saying, no, based on our analyst and expert, my DNA ain't on the gun, nigga. The fuck are you talking about? So that's the second thing. Third thing is the petition claims through assembly bill are applicable to this case at hand and are not procedurally barred. I don't know what that is, and I'm not about to Google it. I don't want to waste our time. Okay, yeah, I don't know that. Okay. Petitioner claimed that the lower court did indeed commit an error, as it did not adequately consider the factors mitigating presented as sentencing, and not procedurally barred does not meet blah blah blah. Okay, so essentially this is more not about the decision in the case. This is about the sentencing in the case. You know, they're probably saying there's certain factors that should be considered when giving out a sentence. You know, Tory got 10, and they're saying that wasn't considered, which this could lead to a lowering of his sentence, but not a dismissal, if this is the only thing that, you know, say when the attorney general or the state responds, they're like, yeah, whatever. It wouldn't overturn it. It would just probably lessen it. Then the last one is, I think it's the last one. The petitioner claims regarding the gun enhancement is not procedurally barred and does not meet the required blah blah blah. Right? I think this is about just the charge. So they're saying that based on the charge for the gun. No, they have a gun enhancement with certain crimes. So when there's a violent crime and a gun involved, this happens in many liberal states. Violent crime, like if you beat somebody, like for example, I told y'all, like, you know, I live in Jersey. Like, if you go rob somebody and they don't see a gun, or no one could prove you had a gun, you get this. If they see you have a gun, whether you use it or not, you get this. So there's gun enhancements to like all of these crimes, especially for like these liberal states that don't like guns. And basically Tory's saying, yo, the gun enhancement is, you know, was probably unfairly put down, whatever. And then 6 was Tory's claiming that there's some racial prejudice, which I think he's basically alluding to the prosecutors being racist, right? And I don't know how he's going to be able to prove that, but it says a claim for racial justice will be able to be fully presented once he possesses the relevant evidence that has been requested. I don't know what that is. I mean, we could read through the whole thing. We're just not. But he's claiming prosecutors racist. And the last thing is, it's appropriate for the petitioner to first file his petition for writ of habeas corpus in the Superior Court due to California Constitution. And I get... So in certain places, and trust me, I learned this today. I was taking like all type of crash courses on law. In certain places, the way how you submit a writ of habeas corpus, because, you know, obviously the appellate court, you could go up to the state Supreme Court, is that they usually stipulate that you submit the writ of habeas corpus at the lowest court. and the superior isn't the lowest court, but I think in California, due to its constitution, that's the appellate court for county court, right? So yeah, it is what it is. Okay, so essentially that's what he submitted. There's a bunch of stuff there. You guys could go to Unite the People USA if you want to read through this. We're not going to read through this. It's just a whole bunch of stuff he's detailing. You'll see some stuff right here. Factors of mitigation. So they're talking about the sentencing. They're saying he shouldn't have got 10 years. There's another thing here saying the people engaged in prosecutorial misconduct which interfered with the person's right to a conflict of free counsel. Okay, They're saying the sentencing court erred in declining to impose the lowest possible sentencing term. They're basically talking about Tory's, Tory's background, this and third, like all type of things, because they're appealing everything, right? Yeah, they're just arguing about a bunch of. Now, anyway, the point of what I'm trying to say is that those are the grounds that he's filing this. Hey, I'm being held against my will in state prison. These are the causes why I shouldn't be held. And all the appellate court said was, okay, those are decent causes. We want to hear from the state on why you were held. Now, here's the thing I keep saying. If this case was circumstantial, like for example in the YNW Melly case, right? There's 0 people testifying against YNW Melly. YNW Melly is going against data, GPS, fucking ballistics. He's going against all science, right? Because there is no witness, right? If he gets convicted, hope he doesn't, but if, I hope he's innocent, and he doesn't. If he gets found guilty, because there's no witnesses, say they find out that the ballistic guy did the math wrong and the gun didn't come, the bullet there was a possibility the bullet could have been fired from the other seat that Melly didn't get. Like, those things could be grounds for a potential reversal. But here's the thing, and this is what I'm saying about the Tory's case, respectfully. All the prosecutor gonna say, they're gonna answer all those points, and even if Tory scores some points, or like, they'll be like, all right, well, Tory's kind of right here, they're gonna come with a whole bunch of other things to say, Tory, no, they're gonna say, we got 3 to 4 witnesses who corroborate the same thing. You can't, the witnesses, that's gonna always kill you, okay? We're going to get to the Dirk thing momentarily, but if you guys did want to know what was happening with the Tory case, that is what's going on. So, again, basically, they took the writ of habeas corpus and they added it. Actually, we could even look it up. Look, a lot of these things you can search, chat. This is not even some fetish shit. You can search it. Look. California Appeal Court case search. Yeah, you go here, you click here. I think it's in the 2nd district. They show you the 2nd district. Or the 2nd district right here? Or is it the 3rd? The 2nd district is LA. Yeah. All right, so cool. Then all you got to do, you hit 2nd district. Then you do search appellate case info. And then it's going to say, look at this. You go here, search by party name, last name Peterson, first name Daystar. Click that, search by party, and he got 4 appeals in. That's it. Like, it's not rocket science, people. So, these are the appeals he has. This appears to be the case, the People versus Peterson. So this would be the appeal for the entire case. Then he has 2 writ of habeas corpuses, which is just additional reasons that they're trying to get additional relief. And it could be about the length of the sentence. It could be about anything. It could be, it's post-conviction now, so it's a little bit different. And then this is another one that's sitting in here. I don't know what it's about. Let's see. Docket. Application for leave to file. Okay, cool. So, yeah, a lot of these, Yeah, a lot of these is asking for leave. Usually means sometimes they'll also grant you bail while your appeal is being heard, right? Because you can make a case to say I could prepare better to write this appeal and defend myself if I'm free. And again, doesn't work all the time. It has worked sometime, but basically California ain't trying to let Tory out right now. Again, who knows? They might listen to that appeal for the entire case and throw it out. So all they did was this new writ of habeas corpus, they lumped it in with the other two appeals already. So they consolidated it. So whenever they come with their ruling, which is, I believe, is a 3-panel judge that's going to come with the ruling, they're going to let us know a few things. Hey, we think Tory's sentencing is too harsh. Go back and sentence him to something lower. Or he shouldn't have gotten over, I don't know, whatever, right? Clearly, he wants to get out of jail. But also, I think the biggest thing, he wants to overturn this shit. And that's an uphill fight. But they're working. His people are definitely working. Can't be mad at that. All right? All good. All good, people. Brick Baby was trying to hop on the stream. Oh, by the way, I did all that. Somebody said, bro, just go to Law for Workers. He basically breaks it down. It basically, what Law for Workers said. I'm going to look like an idiot if I said wrong shit.
Lane's innocent claim accepted by appellate court, giving DA 2 weeks to respond. Let's talk about what this means. So first off, when they say accepted by the appellate court is just saying they're going to hear the appeal. They're not saying, oh, we're letting him out or we believe he's free. They're just going to listen to what his appeal is. That's all that means. Now, what is his appeal? It's pretty good. It's been made in a couple different ways, and you have to understand the different court processes that are involved. One, they asked for a new trial on the basis that there's this evidence, the affidavit from the driver. The driver could take the stand and testify. He was working security that night. He was the only one not drinking at the party. He saw 2 women fighting. He saw Kelsey with the gun. He saw Tory trying to break up that fight. And y'all threw Tory in jail and never charge any of the 2 women. That's what Quan would have said if he took the stand, according to his affidavit. Now, the court in the appeals case said, yeah, but we can't give you a new trial because Quan was in court and your lawyer said we're not going to have Quan testify. So that's on you. But this is different. This is a writ of habeas corpus. In Latin, it means bring me the body. It's a Hail Mary. It's a writ of last resort. It's what the courts have set up so that if you've tried to appeal on every other basis, you can always tell the court to bring me the body and just see what the hell's going on here. And you have to have a very good argument for what the hell's going on here. Their very good argument, this is actual innocence. Whether or not I tried or I could have or I should have, I'm innocent. Tory Lanez innocent claim accepted.
All right. I don't know where the rest of that video went, but okay. Kind of said pretty much some of the same things. Yeah, they're down to listen to it. The state is gonna respond, but they're gonna. I just believe they're gonna say, "Bruv, you went through the case, my nigga. Niggas snitched on you or told on you." Unless
so you don't think the appellate court is gonna give this up to him at all?
Nah. No, well. Let me bring it back a bit. It depends on how much they're gonna weigh this whole. Oh, Tory's saying my DNA isn't found on the gun. Also, the bullet fragments. These are elementary points. These are elementary points because the doctor is testifying, even if supposedly they can't find a bullet fragments or something like that. I don't know, whatever. Anyway, evidence isn't stored in perpetuity. So, like, if you got convicted 80 years ago, you can't be like, yo, where's the hair follicle that convicted me? You know what I mean? In this case, unless the doctor comes out and says, oh, yeah, we removed something, but we don't know if it was a bullet. Like, they testified that it was a bullet fragment, right? They testified it's a bullet fragment. There's eyewitness testifying. I think that's the hardest thing to come across. Honestly, in chat, I'm gonna keep it a bean with you because I'm on some Netflix shit today, chat. Y'all want to watch? I'm gonna give y'all the Netflix way out of. This is how to really beat murder, okay? Or how to get away with murder. And by the way, that's what I should title the stream. How to get away with murder, yeah. Because I'm gonna tell Dirk how to get away with it. and it's kind of the same advice I'm gonna give to even Tory. If Tory want to get out of this, some witness got to change the story. I don't know how. I don't care. They got to change the story. A witness got to say, you know what? I thought about it more. I talked to that Sean Kelly dude. I talked to my son who was there. I got Alzheimer's. I actually didn't see Tory doing shit. That's good. See, that's good. Oh, so what you testified against, right? You're saying that you basically misremembered. Oh, that's good. But as long as these eyewitnesses, like we really